Cecil B. Moore Avenue or Columbia Avenue used to be thriving, energetic, and that's what created the clubs. The other kind of atmosphere, restaurants and people and energy. So, wow.
Just thinking, reminiscing, because I even walked down here today from 29th and Diamond, just to come back in my neighborhood, because I used to live up this end too. But I remember in the 50s and 60s, well, you kind of telling my age, but so what? You know, I was a kid then, but I remember because we lived in the 1800 block of 18th Street, and then we lived on the 1800 block of Bevere, and my grandmother lived in the 1700 block of 18th Street. So I remember us just playing, and I remember going on Columbia Avenue, and it was just so nice, and it was stores, and it was, I kept saying, oh, I can't wait till I get grown so I can get involved in this, you know, because we didn't travel too much at night, but I would listen to my mom when they come home saying, you know, they done had a ball, you know, they sitting on the steps that night talking. So that's where we used to shop at. We didn't go downtown. I knew nothing about Center City. You know, we would do all our shopping there. And then every Saturday, never fails, my mom would send us to the movies. It was the Liberty movies, and that's what we would be half the day, in the Liberty movies. And I guess it just took me back a little bit, me playing in the street, and my brothers and sisters. And at night, a lot of times, because it was hot, we ain't had no air conditioner. You know, we had fans, and there's probably one fan, and they would let us stay out late, but we only could sit on our steps, and that's how we played all the step games, you know. Everything was done on your payment, and we just had a good time back then. And, I was just sitting there remembering all the little things that on Cecil, well, on Columbia Avenue as it was then. It was just a nice place, you know. They had church. They had a church on the corner of 18th and Diamond. Yeah, my grandmother's friend had a candy store. Her landlord had a store on. His name was Mr. Fuller. I'll never forget him. You know, he used to come and collect her rent, but we would give him hell with my grandmother. But it was just so different, and like when my kids talk about, I think we went down Center City when it was a parade. You know, we would go down there then, but other than that, shopping at Wanamaker's and Strawbridges. I know my grandmother, you know, I guess looking at her, I could consider her having a lot of money, you know. And I remember her wearing the silk stockings with the seam up the back, but she would only shop in John Wanamaker's, you know, and the hats and the gloves and the pocketbook and the shoes with the strap around it. Oh man, and she always had handkerchiefs. I remember having to iron her handkerchiefs. You know, you had to iron handkerchief, colors, cases, everything, slips. You had to wear a slip too. Had to wear a slip. But I just remember a lot about Columbia Avenue, and even all the way down to 24th. That was Ridge Avenue. That wasn't Columbia Avenue. So that little strip there from 19th, I think it would be like 19th and Cecil B. Moore, all the way to Broad Street. That's where the stores was, and I hate to say the bars and the clubs, and you know, it was just.
Do you have any memories of any of the clubs that are listed on the boards?
No, because you know, I was like, if you say in the 50s and 60s, I was like 10, you know, in that era. But no, the laundromat, I remember stuff like that, because that's where we had to do all our shopping at. It's on Columbia Avenue. But yeah.
Well, I grew up in the neighborhood. I grew up on 1900 Judson Street, and I was just looking at the weather today, thinking this is the day that my mom would tell us we're going to Fairmount Park, and we would be all excited and get dressed and quickly and walk to Fairmount Park and walk back, you know, at the end of the day. You know, Fairmont Park has Memories Smith Playground. The giant slide board I ever seen was the one I seen at Smith Playground as a kid. I remember you had to walk up the side step to then come down, and you know, there's a bunch of us coming down together on top of each other. Yeah, you know, little thing they turned around, and turned it and jumped on it. I remember the trails going in the park, and you go in from Strawberry Mansion, you wind up in West Philly. When you come out the park, then you go back in the park, and we used to be catching crayfish and things of that nature. So you know, I have fond memories, and to now work in the community that I grew up in. You know, it's an interesting twist too, because like that's where I got all of my passion about people. Started out volunteering with my block admin, and then assisted her in things that she had with community. And here we is. I'm 49 years old. I've been doing this since 11 years old.